This week on Tasmanian Takeover, it's time to introduce you to our dedicated Tasmanian Devils podcast. This is the Devil's Den. The map is back.
Did he do it? He's find inside 50. Reva, one hand, brings it in. Nature's swung. Six of the biggest punches I've ever seen in football.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of the Devil's Den, the number 1 fan podcast for the Tasmania Devils, and the official podcast of the Tasmania Devils supporters page on Facebook. This podcast is going to be all game reviews, previews, interviews, and we're just going to have a laugh about the team that Tasmania has deserved for the last 30 years, and we are pumped. My name is JD. This is my co-host, Freddy. Freddy, how you going, mate?
I'm doing very well, mate. I'm very pumped to get this podcast up and running and talk about some footy, which is even the AFL starting very soon as well. It's come up on us pretty quick, actually.
State of Origin last night. Unfortunately, the Allies weren't playing, so there was no Tasmanians over here at Optus Stadium. But hopefully, in the next coming years, they'll get to the SA and the Allies together, and some of our boys can have a run around. Mate, why don't you give us a bit of an introduction as to who you are and how you made your way into podcast land?
Yeah, well, I only started podcasting with you guys on the Jackie's podcast about, 2 months ago, wasn't it? About that. Really nervous the first one, I tell you. It's so bad. I was so nervous. Kept me up all night thinking about it. But but now, I'm pretty comfortable in talking about basketball and football, and especially football, because football is my number 1 love as a sport. And I've been involved in footy for a bloody long time, and even as a little kid doing the scoreboard down at the Signet Oval, watching all the games, getting me meat pie and chips for doing the scoreboard and all that. And I'm just really, really, really happy that Tasmania's got a team now. As I started up that Tassie supporters page and got you on board, we done that in 2016, I think it was. That's 10 years ago. And I every now and then would put up a little feed, a little drip feed of some news that will come up. And when that team got announced, mate, that page has exploded. So we were talking about doing something like this, the podcast, for a while. And I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad to be talking to you, JD, and I'm glad to be talking to our listeners out there, because it's going to be excellent. Even starting with the VFL, I'm super pumped about that as well. So I'm going to get along to a few games. But yeah, here I am.
Absolutely, and we have some big announcements coming up. Nothing that we can say on this podcast just yet, but it is going to be a very, very fun ride here on the Devil's Den. As I said before, my name is JD. I also grew up down in Signet, where, let's be honest, football's not really a recreation. It's more a religion down there. You get nearly 1,000 people to a seniors game, sitting up in the old grandstand at the Signet Oval there. I'll never forget old Flash Gordon sitting up in the stand, raining abuse down on the opposition teams. It was absolutely the best, and it instilled in me a deep, deep love for the game. For the last 2 years, I have been both a host and a co-host on the Ants Nest for Tasmanian Takeover, talking everything about the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, which is my second love. But you know what they say, you can take the here we go. I'm currently living over in Perth. I left Tasmania when I was 18, but I've always dreamt of coming back, and one day I will. There's an old saying, you can take the boy out of the Huon, but you can't stop him from doing a Tassie sports podcast.
Cool.
as you mentioned, Fred, we have a Facebook group with almost 22,000 members, as you said, created back in 2016, where all we wanted to do was update people on whether Tassie would ever get an AFL team at that stage. And it sat pretty dormant for 5 years at about 120 members. And then when the Devils were announced, it exploded, and it went from about 120 members to 8,000 members basically overnight. And is now the biggest fan the fan Facebook group for the Tasmania Devils. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually something that I'm really proud of too. Like that we've done it over that time. Like every time I saw like a Facebook post about, such and such is talking about a Tasmanian team, I'd just, copy and share it. And that's all my knowledge of it, read the article, put out the talking points. And even if no one reacted to it, I was still happy enough to keep doing it because, as a kid, I've always wanted a Tassie team. I'll be definitely jumping ship from my current team, and I won't name that current team on here because
it won't be too hard. Let's just leave it there.
Nah, it won't be too hard. I just hope some of the players from current team come over. If you know who I'm talking about, Butters. Anyway, so I'm super proud of it, and I'm proud of where it's came. We try to do the best we can with the Facebook page, and we can't please everyone, and we're just trying our best, and we're here for you guys, and hopefully this is just another avenue for us to keep you guys informed.
Absolutely. I think we're going to get on to the Devils very, very shortly, but before we do, I think just to give you an idea about who we are and whether you should take what we have to say seriously, I thought I would put together a little highlights package of both me and Fred from our playing days. Fred, I've got a little clip here of you from was it the 2004 grand final or 2005 grand final?
2004 grand final.
2004 grand final. I'm going to play it here. I'm going to leave the commentary on. And we can see what sort of player you were back in the.
Defender couldn't hold on to it. Rode beautifully, read the ball well, left foot kick towards goal. Oh, has he got it? Let's wait for the umpire's decision. Full points at 20 of goal signet. Fantastic effort. 2015, 135. Over Surreal 9-10-64.
How good was that memory, Fred? Talk us through that.
Oh, it's just, it was coming into the last quarter. We sort of were on top of them a bit, and we had the ball come out on the wing, and I sort of kept running from the wing and kept running down. It went to centre forward, and then it spilt to the ground. I was front and centre, scooped it up, and Bob's your uncle, straight through the hey diddle diddle.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, you were blessed with a little bit more skill than I had, and my one highlight from my junior career will prove that. I'm going to play that now.
Get on with play. The crowd into it as well. There goes the ball. Good work, umpire. The power. Here they go. If they can kick another one, he can back the other way. He's got a teammate. No, what has he done? Oh, what has he done? Pick up the ball, son. Oh, no. Big mistake there from the power.
Oh, dear.
That is the one highlight from my junior career that was ever caught on tape. That was me taking the ball out of the middle because I was the only player on the ground not in an all-in brawl. I ran into open goal, but instead of having a second and even a third bounce, I thought I'd have a ping from outside 50, and I ended up just about kicking it out on the full when I had 2 or 3 teammates screaming at me for the ball.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
I think we've all done that at one stage.
It wasn't always caught on camera, though. Look, let's move on now to what we are all here for. We are here to talk about the Tasmania Devils, the team that we should have had 20 years ago. And this podcast is going to be released a month to the day that the VFL Tassie Devils will play their first game. So I thought to myself, what are the VFL Devils going to be? And I think primarily what we're going to see from the Devils in the next 2 years is they're going to be primarily a development pathway for young Tassie talent and AFL hopefuls in 2028. This is not going to be the 2003 Brisbane Lions where we're going to win a premiership every year in the VFL. It's going to be more like the 2012 Brisbane Lions, who are okay. They've got a lot of good players on their list, and they're just trying to work it out. Freddie, give us a bit of an idea, mate, of what we know about the team, and also what you're expecting this year.
So, as far as we know, there's a 49-man squad. So that will probably be reduced as they get closer to game time, or they might keep it that big. I'm not really sure, but I would assume it'll be cut down to probably 33, maybe 35. I think you can only have a certain number on the list. Some of these are ex-AFL players, VFL, Samford, Waffles, and even got local talent as well. A couple of young kids that have really stood out for their respective clubs in the statewide league and the Southern League and the Northern League as well. They're going to be coached by Jeremy Weberly. He's a very, very experienced coach, and I believe they've got him there because he can develop that team into something, competitive. Develop the younger players, and they've got a decent squad too, because they've got some older heads that have played in the AFL or been delisted. They've got some young AFL ex-AFL young talent as well, such as Hugo Dixon. He was over there at Freo, I believe, and then he came, and then he went to Southport. Was it? No, or was it before? Definitely.
Yeah, so he did time on both Freo and West Coast's list, but most recently he's been playing up in Southport, and even played for the losing VFL team in the VFL Grand Final last year. So he's going to bring an absolute wealth of experience to our forward line, and he's an absolute contested marking monster if you have a look at the highlights on here.
Yeah, he's filled out really well too. Like he's a big lad. He's a big lad now. He's going to be very important to what they're trying to develop down here in Tasmania with the VFL, especially. We've also got other players like Robbie Fox. He's played 140 games for Sydney, and he's a valuable asset coming into the Tassie team, because he's played in the highest level, so he's got that leadership, and especially being under John Longmire and been playing under John Longmire, who was an absolute superstar coach. His leadership and all the leaders that he's had around him, he's going to be soaked up all their knowledge and how they go about their professionalism, and he's going to be a real good asset for the Tassie boys. So
early contender for captain, I would say, is Robbie Fox.
Yeah, 100%. We also got Jai Menzies. So he's used to play for Essendon. He's a young midfielder, I believe. Really talented, super talented young kid. I'm actually confused why he isn't in an AFL list, because he is really good, super underrated. I think he's going to be such a asset for the VFL Devils. I mean, he's going to come out and he'll smash it. He's got such a talent such a talent like that, just if we can get him, well, we've got him, in our midfield or half forward, mate. He's really good talent. We could use with the other guys too. Like his knowledge from a professional standpoint would be super valuable as well. And we've also got
I think a lot of the Essendon fans are surprised that Jai Menzies isn't on their list, especially with all the injury issues they've had over the last couple of years. Jai Menzies has been relatively healthy after coming back. I think he had an injury when he was first drafted, but was pretty consistent after that. So I think some of the Essendon fans are a bit confused as well.
Yeah, I that's what I said. I just don't get why he's on an AFL list. He's super talented. A kid can play. He can really play.
Absolutely.
We've also got some couple of locals. We've got Brad Cox Goodyear. He's from up north, up in Lonnie. Super talented, very, very good footy play. He's, him and the next bloke I'm going to mention, they just stand out like a sore thumb when they play in their respective clubs down here in Tasmania. They're just that good, and they're probably a bit on the older side. So we need that. We need their experience and their leadership and how they go about it as well, because they have played for Tassie in the Tassie v Queensland games, and they both stood out. Well, he stood out, and the next bloke we're going to talk about, he's silky smooth, beautiful left. I think he's a lefty. I was a left footer. But
I think you're right.
He's just such a great talent. Like I said, he stands out like a sore thumb when he plays in his local team, and I think he's won a few best and fairest up there as well. So it's just an absolute talented player. And of course, down here from Lauderdale, and he was in Adelaide too. But Sam Siggins, big ruck centre half forward. This guy, he can play. I can call him a kid because I'm probably 20 years older than him.
That's right.
But he's really, really talented. This guy he's a really good footy player. He's smart with the ball for a big ruckman / forward. He uses the ball really well for his size, his agility, his strength as well. He really, really is a good player. I think we found out, we've lucked out getting him as well, because, he's obviously too good for the league that he plays in down here in the south. And he's another one with a wealth of knowledge, experience, a bit of AFL experience, I believe too. And he's going to be very, very, very important to the makeup of their team, because he when he plays, he does command he commands the respect of everyone he plays on, because he's so good. And he dug him out of the shit that game too. So on the Tassie game,
it was unreal that game. 2023, this was.
Was this, he kicked 6 goals or something? I think it was.
Something like that. It was
6
it was
or 8
ridiculous, some of the stuff he was doing, just kicking goals from ruck contests. He would just push the guy out of the way, grab the ball and pop it through the middle. Outstanding.
Yeah, left foot, right foot, didn't matter. Yeah, that's like I said, his talent is unquestionable. He's just a really, really good player, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing both them guys don the Tassie colours and play in the VFL. Well, I'll miss the first game, but I'll be definitely coming to watch a few games when I can get away.
Sure. Look, I'm looking forward to seeing all of those guys play. And next episode, we're actually going to go through some of the guys that you may not necessarily have heard of that are going to play really, really big roles for the team. We mentioned the stars there. They're the 5 guys that are probably form our backbone of the team, especially from a leadership perspective. Next episode, we're going to go through all of the young superstars coming up who you may not have heard of. So definitely tune into that one. I want to touch on what these guys are playing for. Fred, you mentioned that we've got players from the AFL, VFL, SANFL, Waffle, NTFL, TSL. Like, we've got players from everywhere, and quite a lot of them are Tasmanians that have moved back purely to don the jumper and show that state pride that we've been aching to be able to show for decades and decades now. So the come home factor was a big deal. People want to be able to, you know, live out their childhood dream, but still have mum cook them dinner twice a week. But there is some extra incentive that I know a few of the players definitely have their eye on, and it's called the golden ticket. So Brendan Gale came out a couple of months ago and said that we will be offering 2 to 3 players on the VFL squad a rookie spot to the inaugural AFL team. So a lot of these guys have come to Tasmania, not all of them Tasmanian. There are some mainlanders who are going to be playing for the VFL team, and they have their eye on getting a rookie spot for the AFL when we do enter the comp in 2028, which is just a huge incentive for someone who thought maybe that their opportunity had gone to play at the highest level. But really looking forward to seeing that competitive nature within the VFL side to really stand out and show, I guess, the people like Brendan Gale and Derek Hine what they're made of and that they belong at the highest level in the AFL.
Yep, absolutely.
Fred, give us a bit of an idea of what not to expect from the Devils in year one. What are the things that the Devils are not?
Well, the first thing is that they're not going to be ultra competitive straight away. They will recruit, and they'll recruit heavily, and they'll probably get a star name like Butters, and the rumours around at the moment with Dacos, like Dacos has even sort of been floated around. But in saying that, I don't think we're going to have that really strong. We're going to have to form our identity first. That's what I'm trying to say. We're going to have to form our identity. Whoever the coach may be has to formulate a really good, solid game plan with the players that they're going to have on the list. So they're going to get a superstar. There's no doubt about that, because they're offering like $4 million or something crazy like that. But so we've got to sort of temper our expectations. The Jack Jumpers was just as an example, was a bit of an anomaly that we won so quick, but it also is a good template of saying, hey, if you create this culture, a good system, a good pathway for talent, all the above, that things could happen and you could be really good in a couple of years or so. But I tell you what, when we get, I can't even talk about it. Like when we run out on the ground for the first, doesn't matter what ground, for the first game, it's going to be bloody awesome. And I can't wait to see the Jumpers. I can't wait to see how Tasmania is going to react to having their own AFL team. And I strongly believe that they're going to go nuts with the memberships. The memberships are going to be flying out the door. I think they'll sell out the memberships if anything.
I think so too. We're going to talk about the memberships and how you can get your hands on one very shortly. But you mentioned there about the first time that we run out on the ground. Can you tell us a bit about what you know about the first game? I think we've got a practice match coming up.
We got a practice match against Werribee that's over in Bundoora, is it? I think it's called Bundoora.
Victoria, yeah.
In Victoria, yeah. So they're gonna, with the VFL, they're gonna go out there. I reckon they'll use it as their gauge on the players and really get a look at how the players are going to perform. You know, they're probably going to put out a lot of players there that are on the fringe a bit and really put them to the test and see if they are up for the up for the task for the VFL, the VFL level. I think too, Weberly, he's a very good coach, and he knows how he wants to coach. And so given that he's got a really good support staff around him and good admin and all that, I think that they might do okay. Like they will win games, especially against the lower teams. There are lower teams in this competition. The competition's quite huge, and you don't really play everyone at all.
Yep.
But in saying that, our very, very first official VFL game is going to be on March 21 at Saturday at 1:05 p.m. and it's going to be at North Hobart Oval. And
Lovely.
I think that is a brilliant idea. It's absolutely brilliant idea. I would yes, Ninja Stadium's over the river, and technically you probably should be playing there, but I think bringing it back to the home of footy in the south is an absolute genius idea, and you could cram in like 10, 15,000 people as well. Just bring that atmosphere that North Hobart once had when the TSL was at its peak of the powers, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to miss it, unfortunately. I'll be in Melbourne, but hopefully it's telecasted and we can have a look at it.
It should absolutely be telecasted. I think got announced this week that the ABC have picked up the VFL broadcasting rights after Channel 7, after having them for 6 or 7 years. I think they had them decided not to go ahead with it. So all games should be televised, and if you can't watch it on ABC, you can always watch it live on the VFL and AFL app, which is you'll be able to watch it anywhere from your phone, basically. You touched on memberships just before. Now, memberships, we are recording this on the 15th. Memberships will be going on sale on Monday, the 23rd. And it's caused a bit of a stir because people don't really understand what's involved. Everyone's sort of climbing over themselves to get a seat at the new stadium, which we'll have in 2030. But ideally, all you need to be worrying about at this stage is just becoming a member and getting yourself to the VFL. So we've got quite a selection. You've got the $80 Believer, which is your standard membership, gets you a scarf, gets you a bumper sticker, and that is what the club are looking for to call you a member. Now, there are a number of add-ons. There are 2 add-ons you can do. A VFLW and VFL package, which includes all VFL games, except for round 1, Fred. They're expecting a sellout for that game. So round 1 is not covered in your VFL membership, but VFL tickets are only $10 on the gate anyway. Now, for interstate and people who aren't going to go to the games, you've got what's called a clubhouse membership. So you get your basic Believer package for $80, and then you've got your clubhouse membership, which entitles you to interstate events and club webinars and online events, which is going to be great. The club is organising meet and greets with players and all of that sort of stuff. So that if you're not able to get to games, the clubhouse package is the one you want. And that one is $140, including the Believer package. So it's an extra $60 on top. Don't worry about getting a seat to the AFL just yet. Those are going to be released in May. We're going to go into those in details a bit closer to the date. All you need to worry about right now is getting yourself a Believer package and getting yourself to the VFL games, because that's ultimately what we are here to support right here, right now. We've got a brand new team in front of us, and we need to get behind it. we've got a new jumper coming out, Fred, but we haven't really heard much about it. What do you know about what the jersey's going to be?
I don't know anything, to be honest. No,
It's
I believe it's going to be. I believe that it's going to have no map on there. So there's going to be no map. It's going to be some sort of design. I think it could be. I think it could be just like a quite generic type jumper. I don't think it's going to be too outlandish or flashy. So I think it'll have like a stripe or a couple of stripes, like the old Western Bulldog style, maybe. It could be anything really. I've had fun on the you can go onto one of the websites and make your own jumpers. So I've had fun doing that in the past. So if everyone wants to do that, flick us a message and show me what your designs are. I'll have a look.
Absolutely, send through the designs 100%. We do know that it'll be made by New Balance. New Balance is our apparel sponsor, and it's highly likely that the Blunston logo will be on the chest as well. I have had it confirmed by the club that there won't be a map. They're going a completely different design to the one that you saw Brad Cox Goodyear and Sam Siggins playing in before. So it will be a completely radical new design. But like you said, I hope they keep it fairly traditional and fairly simplistic, because all the best jerseys, all the most iconic jerseys are that simplistic, traditional look. And I think that's what we really need to go for.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the three colors. That I think you know what? I kind of hope they don't have the maroon on it. I think they should have like the gold and the bottle green and maybe some grey like in there. I don't know. I like the idea of having grey on there. That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Sure.
Yeah. But if there's any suggestions or anything about the show that you guys want to hear about or anything like that, we have got our email address now. So it's tasmaniadevilssp@gmail.com. So if you want to interact with us, we'd love to hear from people. Even give us some constructive criticism on how good or how bad our podcasts are going to be. But yeah, so get onto our supporters page, give us a like, give us a share, tell your friends, tell your over 16s because of the ban, the bloody social media ban. But it'd be really good to hear from everyone, and hopefully we get ourselves to at least 100 subscribers before we start really kicking off, eh?
Absolutely, that would be unreal. We had a goal to hit 50 subscribers for the basketball podcast, for the Jack Jumpers podcast. We managed to nail that. We would love for everyone who has made it this far in the podcast to subscribe and push us up to 100 subscribers by round 1. That's a month. It's a big goal, but I think we can. I think we can do it. We've got the footy supporters and the passion to be able to nail it. Mate, that's basically all we had to cover this week. We've just given an outline of what the team's going to be, what we need to expect, and a few of the names that you're going to be seeing. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap this one up?
No, stick with us. I'll get better at this because I'm still pretty new at it. But yeah, like, subscribe, get onto the Devil's Den, and even follow the Jackies if you're into the basketball as well. So thanks for that, and thanks JD, and let's do it.
No worries, mate. If you have made it this far in the podcast, thank you so much for listening. We look forward to bringing you an episode every week, and then potentially multiple episodes once the footy starts up. So keep an eye out. We potentially have some very exciting guests lined up. So keep an eye out for that. Really looking forward to it. Thanks again. And remember, as always, Devils, the map is back.
When the Devils hear us roar,